Welcome back. In today's exciting episode, we're diving into the fascinating world of wheat pennies, the legendary Lincoln 1-cent coins that have captivated generations of collectors across the world. But we're not just talking about any old pennies. Today, we'll uncover the top 4 most valuable and expensive wheat pennies ever minted in the United States. These little copper coins, some just over a century old, have transformed from everyday change into high-dollar treasures, sparking fierce demand in the coin-collecting community and fetching tens of thousands, and even hundreds of thousands of dollars, at auction. If you've got a box of old coins tucked away in your attic or passed down from a relative, you might be sitting on a gold mine. Let's get started. First up, the 1943 steel wheat penny without a mint mark, found in blackened condition, is quietly making headlines across collector circles. Though many people pass it off as just an old, rusted penny, the truth is far more electrifying. This coin, born in the heart of World War II, made of steel instead of the traditional copper, and darkened over time through oxidation and circulation, could be your ticket to an unexpected windfall. And in markets like Australia, where demand for rare American coins has surged dramatically, this very penny, especially when found in its rare black-tone condition, is commanding astonishing premiums. So today, let's journey through the history, design, value, and collector firepower of the 1943 black steel wheat penny, and discover why it might just be the million-dollar miracle hiding in your coin jar. Let's set the stage. The year is 1943, and the world is engulfed in the chaos of World War II. America, deeply involved in the global conflict, was rationing critical materials, including copper, which was redirected to war production for ammunition and equipment. To keep the nation's coin supply flowing, the U.S. Mint made an unprecedented move. It struck Lincoln wheat pennies using zinc-coated steel instead of copper. This was the only year in U.S. history that pennies were mass-produced from steel, making the 1943 edition instantly unique. Over 684 million steel cents were minted in Philadelphia alone, without a mint mark, as was standard for that mint, while others were produced at Denver and San Francisco. But here's where it gets fascinating. The vast majority of these coins have now corroded, been discarded, or lost their detail due to the steel core's sensitivity to rust and moisture. The few that remain, especially in blackened, aged condition with visible features, are now among the most talked about sleeper coins in international coin circles. Now let's focus on the design and specifications. The 1943 steel wheat penny, despite its different material, retained the classic design introduced in 1909 by Victor David Brenner. The obverse, head side, features a crisp, right-facing portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, a symbol of unity during a fractured world. Above his head is the timeless motto, "In God We Trust," while liberty is placed to the left, and the date, 1943, is stamped to the right. The absence of a mint mark indicates it was minted in Philadelphia. Flip the coin over, and you're met with the iconic wheat stalks, arching gracefully around the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America, topped off with the Latin phrase, E pluribus unum, out of many one. The coin itself measures 19.05 millimeters in diameter, weighs 2.70 grams, and was struck from low-carbon steel coated with zinc. However, over time, due to environmental exposure, these coins often oxidize, losing their silvery shine and turning into a matte black or dark gray tone, making them visually distinct and highly collectible under the right conditions. Let's talk condition and value. While millions were minted, very few 1943 steel pennies have survived in clean, detailed, uncorroded condition, and even fewer have aged into the rich black color now so highly prized by collectors. Blackening on these coins typically occurs due to moisture corrosion breaking down the zinc coating and exposing the steel core beneath. While this might appear to be a flaw, many collectors now see it as a sign of age, history, and character, especially when combined with strong visible features and minimal rust damage. In the U.S. market, a circulated 1943 steel penny in poor condition might sell for as little as 10 cents, but in black-tone condition with good structural integrity, it could go for $10 to $50. If the coin has full rims, readable lettering, strong wheat stalks, and little to no pitting, its value skyrockets. Authenticated examples with unique toning or errors, such as double dies, die breaks, or off-center strikes, have sold for $100 to $1,000 or more, depending on rarity and grading. But in Australia, the numbers become even more impressive. As American coin collecting becomes a booming hobby across the continent, and collectors seek historically significant wartime coins, the 1943 black steel penny is becoming a coveted item. Australian buyers are drawn to its wartime legacy, rare composition, and unique appearance. While not commonly found in local circulation, they appear in estate sales, antique shops, or overseas trades, where their rarity is amplified. In recent years, black 1943 steel pennies in decent condition have sold in Australian markets for $100 to $400, especially when coupled with provenance, certification, or inclusion in themed wartime collections. Error versions and high-grade examples have fetched upwards of $1,500, particularly when auctioned online or through specialist collectors. What makes the 1943 black steel penny so emotionally powerful is that it's more than just metal. It's a time capsule of global conflict, a coin that emerged from an era of rationing, sacrifice, and resilience. The blackened patina on these coins tells a story of decades of movement, from battlefields to pockets, from family heirlooms to international showcases. It's the kind of artifact that doesn't just sit in a folder. It sparks conversation, transports you through time, and becomes a legacy worth passing on. That's why its appeal has grown far beyond the US, into markets like Australia, where collectors are drawn not just to its value, but to its soul. If you believe you found a black 1943 wheat penny, here's your action plan. First, handle it carefully. Do not clean it, as scrubbing or polishing can destroy toning, strip the surface, and reduce collector interest. Store it in a safe, dry coin holder, preferably acid-free and PVC-free. Next, consider having it graded by NGC or PCGS, especially if the coin appears to have an error or retains exceptional detail. Graded coins are far more trusted by collectors and sell for considerably higher prices, especially in international markets. If you're in Australia, consider attending a local coin fair, submitting it to a local coin dealer, or auctioning it through international platforms that highlight rare and wartime coinage. The 1943 steel wheat penny without a mint mark, in its rare and haunting black condition, is a coin that defies expectation. It's a piece of wartime ingenuity, born from a nation's need and molded in steel, not copper. It has survived decades of circulation, environmental damage, and indifference. And yet, here it is today, a potential gateway to thousands of dollars, especially for collectors in Australia and beyond. In a world where everyone's searching for glitz and gold, next up, the 1946 wheat penny without a mint mark, in extra fine condition. If you've got this coin tucked away in your collection, or perhaps stashed unknowingly in a jar of old change, buckle up, because what you're about to learn could turn that simple cent into a high-value, high-demand treasure that collectors and dealers across the globe are chasing right now. This is the story of the 1946 wheat penny, and how it might just be the coin that changes your life forever. The rich history and background of the wheat penny itself. Officially known as the Lincoln wheat cent, this iconic design was introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, replacing the symbolic figures of liberty that graced earlier coins. The reverse side of the coin, featuring two stylized wheat ears flanking the words 1 cent, became an enduring symbol of post-industrial revolution America, simple, strong, and deeply rooted in the values of hard work and unity. The 1946 edition came just after the end of World War II, symbolizing hope and renewal as America transitioned from wartime hardship to peacetime prosperity. This coin holds a special historical place, representing not just currency, but a legacy of national pride, resilience, and the enduring power of Lincoln's image. Now, let's explore the unique features and design of this coin that make it stand out among a sea of coppers. On the obverse, you'll find the bold profile of President Abraham Lincoln, facing right. His sharply defined features, hair, jawline, and collar, stand out with almost sculptural precision in extra fine condition. Just above Lincoln's head is the phrase, "In God We Trust," while liberty appears to his left and the date, 1946, rests to his right. The absence of a mint mark beneath the date confirms that this coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, the mother mint of the U.S. coinage system. On the reverse, the powerful symmetry of two wheat stalks curl inward to cradle the bold inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. Above that, in a smaller arc, is E pluribus unum, a Latin motto meaning out of many, one. It's a poetic testament to unity, perfectly suited for a nation healing from war. In extra fine, XF, condition, the 1946 wheat penny carries visual power. Coins graded as XF typically show minimal wear, with all major details clear and distinct. Lincoln's cheekbone and jawline remain strong and pronounced, and the lines within the wheat stalks on the reverse are still visible and defined. The coin's luster may be partially muted from circulation, but the essential sharpness of the design elements remains intact. The copper surface, depending on storage, may take on a warm reddish tone or even darken into a rich chocolate brown, both of which are desirable to different groups of collectors. Some even exhibit an original red tone, indicating minimal oxidation and the preservation of its original mint brilliance. These aesthetic qualities in XF condition elevate its desirability, pushing this coin into the upper tiers of numismatic demand. Now here's where things get very exciting: the rarity and collector demand. Although the 1946 wheat penny was minted in high numbers, over 991 million coins from Philadelphia, the passage of time, circulation wear, environmental damage, and the melting of copper coins have significantly reduced the number of surviving coins in pristine condition. Add to that the fact that many of these coins were casually spent or lost, and suddenly, examples in extra fine or better condition become substantially rarer. Collectors actively hunt for wheat pennies with strong strikes, excellent surfaces, and rich color because they complete Lincoln Cent albums and fill demand for full sets across decades. The absence of a mint mark gives it a pure, unaltered appeal. It's the original Philly strike, the standard by which others are judged. So, what is the current market value in today's dollar terms? In general circulated condition, a 1946 wheat penny without a mint mark may be worth only a few cents. But don't be fooled by the low base price. Condition is king in numismatics. In extra fine condition, this coin easily commands $3 to $5 from collectors looking to upgrade their sets. If the coin leans toward about uncirculated or boasts red luster, the price can soar to $10 to $25. But hold on, that's just the beginning. Rare error versions of the 1946 wheat penny, such as double dies, off-center strikes, or repunched mint marks, can reach values of $100 to over $5,000, depending on the type and grade. Even more, full rolls of uncirculated 1946 wheat pennies, especially in brilliant red condition, can auction for thousands of dollars, particularly when graded by third-party services like PCGS or NGC. The action in today's market is red hot. Collectors in the US, Australia, and beyond are bidding aggressively for well-preserved Lincoln wheat cents. As gold and silver fluctuate, many investors have turned to copper coins, especially older ones, as tangible, historically rich alternatives. That means demand for coins like the 1946 wheat penny is surging across both mainstream and niche markets. On top of that, YouTubers, coin influencers, and numismatic bloggers are fueling the excitement, highlighting finds in pocket change that have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. This attention only increases the profile and the potential payday for those who hold rare, high-quality specimens. Here's the most life-changing part of it all. This coin could very well be sitting unnoticed in your coin jar, inherited collection, or tucked in an old family album. You could be holding onto a small fortune and not even know it. Whether you're in Australia, the US, Canada, or anywhere else around the globe, the Lincoln wheat cent has become a worldwide icon. Collectors from Sydney to New York to London are scrambling to secure the finest examples. And the 1946 wheat penny, with its timeless Lincoln design, post-war significance, and growing scarcity, is leading the charge. So let's tie it all together. This 1-cent piece, minted nearly 80 years ago, may look like spare change to the untrained eye, but to the savvy collector or investor, it's a portal to the past, a copper capsule of history, and potentially, a coin worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Whether it's the clean and bold design, the exceptional XF condition, or the absence of a mint mark that makes it more appealing, there's no denying that the 1946 wheat penny has earned its place among the most sought-after coins in the Lincoln Cent series. You might just be holding the next million-dollar mistake, a double die, an off-metal error, or a freak minting mishap that turns your coin from fascinating to fortune-making. So go ahead, check your drawers, inspect your coin rolls, and bring that little piece of copper under the light, because your next step might just be contacting a top grader, a high-end dealer, or an international auction house. This isn't just a penny. This is possibility in copper. This is the 1946 wheat penny, your potential ticket to history, and maybe, just maybe, your millionaire moment. Next up, the 1956 wheat penny without a mint mark, in very fine condition. It may be American by origin, but its value and mystery have stirred interest all the way across the Pacific, right here in Australia, where collectors are waking up to the global potential of this tiny cent. Don't let the coin's modest appearance fool you, because this little piece of copper could be your silent millionaire maker. That's right. Today we're talking about its history, design, condition, rarity, collector demand, and the exciting dollar value it holds in today's fast-paced coin market. So buckle up, because what we're about to uncover might just be sitting in your old drawer or childhood collection right now. Let's begin with the rich history and background of the 1956 wheat penny. The Lincoln Wheat Cent series began in 1909, created to commemorate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it was the first time a real person, not a symbolic figure, was honored on a U.S. coin. For nearly half a century, the Lincoln Wheat penny stood as a beacon of national pride, surviving 2 world wars, a Great Depression, and post-war prosperity. The year 1956 represents one of the final chapters of the wheat penny's journey, just 3 years before the design would change to the Lincoln Memorial Reverse. Struck in the post-war boom, the 1956 wheat penny reflects an era of innovation, growth, and optimism. Though minted in great numbers, few could have imagined the deep collector value this coin would carry decades later, especially in today's booming international coin markets, including in Australia. Now let's explore the designs and specifications that make this humble coin a timeless work of numismatic art. On the obverse, we see the bold, confident bust of President Abraham Lincoln facing right. In very fine condition, his facial features, cheekbones, nose, jawline, and bow tie, are still sharp and well-defined, though softened slightly from circulation. The inscription, "In God We Trust," arcs overhead, while Liberty stands proud to Lincoln's left. To the right of Lincoln's profile, the date 1956 is clearly struck, without any mint mark underneath, confirming that this coin was minted in Philadelphia, the oldest U.S. mint facility. On the reverse, you'll find 2 perfectly arched wheat ears curling around the strong lettering of 1 cent and United States of America. Above them sits the classic Latin motto, E pluribus unum, meaning, out of many, one. These design features make the wheat penny instantly recognizable and deeply nostalgic for collectors across the globe. In very fine condition, the details are clearly visible, with only moderate wear on the highest points of the design. In terms of technical specifications, the 1956 wheat penny is made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, weighing in at 3.11 grams. Its diameter is 19.05 millimeters, and it has a smooth edge, no reading like you see on modern dimes or quarters. It was struck using traditional minting techniques of the mid-20th century, giving it that characteristic deep relief and classic sound when dropped on a hard surface. The tactile experience alone tells you, you're not holding a regular coin. You're holding a piece of American monetary history. But what makes this coin valuable today, especially in very fine condition? Here's where the story gets juicy. While the Philadelphia Mint struck 420 million of these coins in 1956, most were heavily circulated or lost over time. Very fine condition means the coin still has sharp detail and strong surfaces, better than average pocket change, and far more desirable to collectors building sets. In fact, many collectors are specifically seeking out full wheat penny sets in VF to EU condition, and the 1956 issue, with its sharp, minty lines and history, plays a key role in finishing those collections. As a result, demand for VF 1956 wheat pennies without mint marks has steadily climbed. So, how much is it worth in today's red-hot collector's market? On average, a 1956 wheat penny without a mint mark in very fine condition fetches 25 cents to $1, depending on color, eye appeal, and overall surface quality. But if your coin has exceptional toning, minimal contact marks, or slight luster remaining, it can bring in more, sometimes up to $5 or more. That may seem modest at first glance, but the real money lies in errors, proof-like surfaces, or bulk lots of high-grade wheat pennies. Some rare 1956 wheat pennies with doubling, die cracks, off-center strikes, or lamination errors have sold for hundreds and even thousands of dollars at auction. One extraordinary example, a 1956 Lincoln cent struck on a silver dime planchet, fetched over $10,000 simply because it was so unique and well-preserved. Now let's talk about collector demand and why this coin matters even outside the US, particularly in Australia. As global interest in US coinage rises, countries like Australia are seeing a surge in buyers, traders, and enthusiasts who are entering the Lincoln cent market. Coin shows in Sydney, Melbourne, and Perth now regularly feature American cents, especially wheat pennies, as demand explodes among Aussie collectors. Online platforms like eBay Australia, Gumtree, and specialist auction sites often feature wheat cents, sometimes in bulk rolls, sometimes in individually graded flips, fetching surprising prices. The nostalgia, the copper appeal, and the hunt for that million-dollar error are fueling this new wave of interest down under. And for many collectors, the 1956 edition is a perfect entry point. Affordable, historical, and potentially lucrative. Here's what makes this coin even more special. It's a coin of opportunity. Many of these were passed down through generations or stored away unknowingly. Imagine discovering an old coin album in your grandfather's shed in Adelaide, or a dusty glass jar tucked away in the attic of a Brisbane home. That unassuming copper coin could be your key to the global collector market. And if it contains a rare error or has been kept in unexpectedly high condition, you could be looking at a five-figure payday. People across the world have turned pocket change into profit, and the 1956 wheat penny continues to be one of the best stepping stones into that world. The 1956 wheat penny without a mint mark in very fine condition isn't just a relic of American history. It's a globally recognized copper treasure. It's a piece of the past that still holds purchasing power in the present. Whether it's the strong and noble image of Lincoln, the elegant wheat design, the untouched Philadelphia strike, or its potential for hidden errors, the value of this coin goes far beyond 1 cent. For collectors in Australia and beyond, it represents a chance to own a small piece of U.S. heritage and possibly uncover the kind of numismatic gold that turns hobbyists into millionaires. So check your drawers, your old jars, your inherited coin books. You never know when this humble penny might shine its light on your future. This is the story of the 1956 wheat penny. And maybe, just maybe, this is the coin that makes you a millionaire. Next up, the 1944 wheat penny without a mint mark, in bad condition. Yes, we're talking about a coin with scratches, dark discoloration, dulled features, and perhaps a few corrosion spots. But don't be too quick to judge, because even in this rough state, this humble coin might just be hiding value beyond your wildest expectations. Whether you're in the US, here in Australia, or anywhere across the world, this coin proves that even the most damaged pieces of history can be your ticket to the booming world of rare coin collecting, and possibly to a millionaire's dream. Let's begin with the historical heartbeat of this coin. The year is 1944, a pivotal moment in world history. World War II was raging, with Allied forces liberating Europe and the Pacific heating up toward its final battles. On the American home front, production was focused on supporting the war effort. Steel, aluminum, and precious metals were being rationed. And yet, the U.S. Mint continued producing Lincoln cents, symbols of perseverance and patriotism. The 1944 wheat penny is part of that legacy. Just 1 year earlier, in 1943, the Mint had used steel-coated zinc to save copper for the war. But in 1944, they brought copper back into circulation, recycling shell casings and leftover ammunition materials into new pennies. That makes every 1944 wheat cent a literal coin of war, crafted from the remnants of battle, forged into a symbol of peace, and sent out into a recovering world. That legacy alone gives it emotional and historical weight that can't be measured in dollars alone. Now let's look at the design and specifications, even though time may have left your particular coin in rough shape. On the obverse, you'll still find the enduring image of Abraham Lincoln, though his features might now appear flattened or obscured by circulation wear. His hair might be a blur, his bow tie a soft shadow, but the strength of his profile remains a proud icon of freedom. Above his head, you can still faintly make out the phrase, "In God we trust." To the left, the word liberty clings on, perhaps partially faded, and to the right, etched with time, stands the date 1944. Because there's no mint mark beneath the date, we know this coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which, during the war, operated around the clock to keep the economy afloat and the war effort funded. Turning the coin over to the reverse, even in bad condition, the powerful symbolism survives. 2 wheat stalks, though worn, still stretch along the sides, protecting the central inscriptions, 1 cent and United States of America. And above them, in small lettering, you might still see E pluribus unum, Latin for out of many one. This reverse design, used from 1909 to 1958, is a classic, beloved by collectors worldwide for its simple elegance and deep meaning. And in a globalized coin market, especially in places like Australia, this reverse has become a desirable conversation piece, a link to American history that crosses borders and speaks volumes. let's talk about the physical specs, even for a coin in poor condition. The 1944 wheat penny is composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc, with a weight of 3.11 grams and a diameter of 19.05 millimeters. It has a plain edge, no reading, and a solid feel that screams old-world craftsmanship. Even when tarnished or corroded, you can feel the density of its wartime metal mix, a mixture that makes it not only collectible but historically significant. Some coins from this era may have environmental damage, turning green or black from oxidation, especially if stored in humid conditions. But remember, condition may hurt the base value, but certain errors and oddities from this year are highly prized regardless of how rough the surface may be. Now here's the part that will blow your mind. Value and collector demand, even for a worn 1944 wheat penny. Let's be clear, in bad condition, most 1944 wheat pennies are only worth around 2 to 10 US cents, simply due to wear. They are among the most common wheat pennies, with the Philadelphia Mint producing over 1.4 billion of them in 1944. However, this isn't the end of the story, not by a long shot, because the real value emerges when you look deeper. Error coins from this year have fetched staggering prices at auctions. One 1944 wheat penny struck on a steel planchet by mistake, left over from 1943's wartime steel cents, sold for over $100,000. Other rare variants include off-center strikes, clipped planchets, double dies, and lamination flaws. And here's the exciting part. Many of these rare errors show up in circulated, worn, and damaged coins because the mint didn't catch them early enough. That means your bad condition coin could still hide a rare mistake that makes collectors around the world, including in Australia, sit up and pay attention. The collector market today is global, and demand for wheat pennies is exploding, not just in America, but in Australia, Canada, Europe, and Asia. Here in Australia, coin collectors and investors alike are discovering the deep, rich world of US copper coins. Sites like eBay Australia, Auction, and specialist auction houses frequently see listings for bulk wheat penny rolls or individual rare cents. And even low-grade coins are selling well when bundled in vintage lots or displayed in historical collections. That's because people are drawn to their story, the simplicity, the wartime survival, the copper glow that still shines through even in the darkest corners. And among them, the 1944 wheat penny is one of the most desirable due to its history and mass appeal. It's a coin everyone wants to own at least once, and the right era version could bring in a life-changing amount of money. So, how do you turn that bad condition penny into a valuable asset? First, examine it carefully. Look for oddities in lettering, doubling in numbers, strange colors, missing features, or weird weights. These could indicate a minting error. Second, weigh the coin. If it's significantly lighter or heavier than 3.11 grams, it could have been struck on the wrong planchet. Third, use a magnifying glass or loupe and compare it to known errors online. If anything looks suspicious, in a good way, get it appraised by a professional or sent to a grading service. And finally, remember that collectors value history, uniqueness, and storytelling just as much as mint shine. Even a poor condition coin can be priceless in the right context. So don't throw away that dark, beat-up copper penny just yet. It may look like nothing, but it carries within it the echoes of World War II, the pulse of a nation in transition, and possibly the spark of wealth waiting to be discovered. Whether you're in Sydney, Perth, or Melbourne, and whether you found it in your pocket or your grandfather's coin jar, that 1944 wheat penny without a mint mark, even in bad condition, could be your secret to entering the world of rare coin collecting, or even flipping it for a serious profit. Sometimes, it's the most worn-out pieces of history that carry the greatest stories and the greatest surprises. Next up,